For many years, my wife Novi and I have wanted to visit Tasmania, and in May 2025 we headed off in our trusty Volkswagen van on the 3-day journey to Melbourne to get on the ferry. Our first night was spent in Newcastle with friends, and we had a great run through to the Cairn River Camping Reserve on day 2. Overnight temperatures of -2 degrees indicated we'd need to stop in Geelong and get some sleeping bags. It was a freezing night. We got through Melbourne okay and beat the traffic and made good time to Geelong. We arrived in good time for the ferry, and we're excited to think that we're finally on our way to Tasmania. We'd booked a cabin for the crossing, and if you're going to do it, it's well worthwhile and worth the money. It was great to finally be in Tassie, and we were really looking forward to our 3 weeks here. After arriving in Davenport, we headed west. Our first stop was to be Stanley. But first up, it was into the beautiful township of Penguin for some breakfast and a famous Tassie scallop pie. Happy birthday, Mum. Oh, happy Mother's Day, sorry. We arrived about mid-morning in the beautiful township of Stanley and decided to walk up to the nut and check out the views. In hindsight, it might have been a better option to take the cable car. The views from the top are magnificent, and we ticked off the first of our destinations for our Tassie tour. Steep part of the track. Let me grab onto that. And it's a bit slippery, but well worth the effort when you have views like this. Look at that. Look at that. Looking over the township. The township of Stanley is beautifully preserved, so clean and tidy. We found a great spot to camp at the Black River Reserve. It was so quiet and peaceful. Here we are at Black River camping ground. There's not too many of us here. There's only a few cars last night, I believe, and pretty cold. But the new sleeping bags were the treat. They seem to go really well. So it's about 7ish now. Sun's coming up. We'll get ready to head into Burnie, get a few supplies, and then down to Cradle Mountain area, which we're looking forward to. Should be fun. All right, the adventure continues. Picking up some supplies in Burnie, we headed south towards Cradle Mountain. Where we go, right?
Cradle Mountain, is it?
Yes.
Yes, for a couple of nights, couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're ready
Really raining.
to adventure through wild things.
The wild things.
Wild things,
We got a great camp spot at the Discovery Park and set up our camp all ready for our trekking tomorrow. Here we are at the start of the Dove Lake walk. Here's Novi all rugged up, aren't you, mate? Look,
yeah.
there you go.
Ready to walk.
Ready to walk.
Right.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Nice day for it. It's not raining yet. It might do. We were so keen to see the wombats, but they all must have been on holiday that day because we didn't see one. But it was a beautiful walk all along the Ronnie track headed for Dove Lake. Very peaceful and very enjoyable. We've made the Ronnie track to Dove Lake. Trek took us about an hour, and nice going, and really nice scenery. We thoroughly enjoyed our time at Dove Lake, but now it was time to head south for Strawn down the west coast. Strawn is a small town and former commercial port on the west coast of Tasmania, based around Risby Cove. It's now a significant locality for tourism in the region. We were lucky enough to visit in low season when there's a population of about 600, but this swells in high season to around 3,000 people. Here we are at Strawn, folks, on the west coast of Tassie, and what a beautiful little place it is too. Very calm, very quiet, really nice, really nice. I like this place. Friendly locals, and just really laid back and relaxed. We're just over here watching the sunset. Yes, it's Certainly one of my favourite places so far on the trip. And who knows, we may come back here again one day.
River cruise.
Yes. We decided to take the red boat for our cruise up the Gordon River. The red boat tours were commenced by the Grinning family and are still owned and run by that family. This tour would firstly take us out through Hell's Gates and then return down towards Sarah Island. The Macquarie Harbour Penal Station, a former British colonial penal settlement, was established on Sarah Island in Macquarie Harbour in the former penal colony of Van Diemen's Land, or now Tasmania, and operated between 1822 and 1833. The tour included informative talks by our really well-informed tour guide. After about 45 minutes on Sarah Island, it was back on the boat when we headed for the Gordon River. The dark waters of the Gordon flow through the Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area before entering Macquarie Harbour. We disembarked at Heritage Landing and follow a short boardwalk track to see the ancient Yuan pines, some several thousand years old.
Thanks, Adam, but you would have got a bit of a feel for this place here, and you can see how there's some trouble on the side.
We had really enjoyed our Gordon River cruise and returned in the afternoon to the jetty. Just adjacent to the jetty is an old sawmill that cuts Huon pine, and some great souvenirs can be had here. After 2 great nights in Strahan, it was time to head east towards Hobart. We drove via Queenstown and stopped in at Lake St Clair, where it was so cold and windy we didn't stay long. If you ask any Tasmanian, they'll tell you must stop in at the Wall in the Wilderness. This is a work by sculptor Greg Duncan that was started in 2005. All made of Huon pine, 100 metres long, 3 metres tall. Unfortunately, videos and photographs are not permitted, but certainly must stop and see this, it's unbelievable. drove through some wonderful country, headed for Lakefield National Park. Lakefield National Park is home to some magnificent trees, beautiful views and great walking tracks. We had a good night at the Bethune Park free camping area, but it was time to head on into Hobart and the Salamanca markets. We got some breakfast and had a great morning walking around the Salamanca markets, checking out some of the local produce. While we were there, we realised that the skies had cleared up and it might be a great idea to head up to Mount Wellington. The drive up to Mount Wellington takes about a half an hour, and along the way there's some magnificent views. Yeah, we're up at the top of Mount Wellington. It's about -1, and but look at the views. Have a look at this. Big front coming in behind us over there. We just got some light snow coming down on the way down Mount Wellington. Wow, really light, but it's there. Definitely snow. I suppose it should. 0 degrees up on top, and it was 9 degrees in Hobart when we left. So it dropped a full 9 degrees on the way up here. But wow, what a pretty place, magical place, yeah? Really nice. Returning to Hobart, we took advantage of the fine weather and headed down to the Botanical Gardens.
We've been to many botanical gardens on our travels, and this one was certainly as good as any.
Well, it was the coldest night so far. I reckon it was probably -2 or 3. The car and the gazebo are covered in ice. No wonder we had a fairly cold night. But just have a look at this for ice. And all over the tent, all over the gazebo, inside the gazebo. Look at it. Oh, look at this. Look. Oh, freezing.
We waited until the morning warmed up, the ice had melted, so we packed up and we were headed south. A visit to the Tahoon Airwalk was recommended to us, so we were headed south of Hobart.
Oh, it moves a bit. Yeah. Even shaking here,
Yeah.
The Huon Pine Walk leads to one of the oldest stands of Huon pines in Tasmania.
This is a really good specimen. This is Eucalyptus obliqua or stringy bark, and this one is massive. It would be all of 12 feet through and probably 60 metres tall. It's wonderful they've been preserved, and it's a really nice walk through here.
The next day we travelled north from Hobart via Eagle Hawk Neck, destination Port Arthur. The Port Arthur penal settlement began life as a small timber station in 1830 and quickly grew into importance within the colonies. Shipbuilding was introduced on a large scale to Port Arthur as a way of providing selected convicts with a useful skill they could take with them once they were freed. Port Arthur is a World Heritage Site and is beautifully cared for and maintained. Whilst Port Arthur is a beautiful place to visit, as you walk around you can only imagine the hardships and punishments that the convicts endured. Included in your admission price is a cruise around the adjacent bay. We'd thoroughly enjoyed our time here, but it was time to move on and continue with our adventures. Coming up in episode 2, we'll hike out to Shipsterns Bluff, drop into Maria Island and catch up with the wombats, visit Wineglass Bay, go via the Bay of Fires and drive up Jacob's Ladder before heading up into central and northern parts of Tasmania. I'll hope you'll come along with us and join in on our lap of Tassie as the adventure continues.